And let's see what respondents in the poll told Yashwant and his team. Here it is. 42.9% of the overall respondents said this is a celebration of all of India. 27.3% felt that this is a Sanatani ritual. 23% felt that this is a BJP RSS program. And 7% said they don't know or they can't say. Amongst opposition voters as well, and this is what is interesting, almost 36% of opposition voters felt that this is a celebration of the entire nation. Only 25.6% said this is a Sanatani ritual, and 29% felt this is a BJP RSS program. Of course, the NDA voters far more enthused about the Pran Pratishtha, but the interesting thing that everyone needs to note in the first question that I'm going to take up on this week's edition of the Political Stock Exchange is that even amongst opposition voters, the mood not very different, slightly at variance, but not very different from that amongst the overall population. And Yashwant Deshmukh, therein lies the story. The fact that even opposition voters seem to be largely or directionally aligned with the overall voters, which includes the NDA voters, may suggest that the Congress especially on this matter seems to have been on the wrong end of the national mood.
Absolutely right, Rahul, and that's what the mood on the ground is. And in fact, this has been for the last 3 decades or so such a flashpoint in the Indian political and social scenario. The issue of Ayodhya, it triggered so many communal polarizations as well. So I could not help myself to actually dig into the data further, going beyond the opposition and NDA voted to see, because I know, everybody thinks of this as a Hindu-Muslim issue. What was an interesting thing, Rahul, that I could sense was there is an approximately 25% of the Hindu bloc which is against this thing. A overwhelming majority was obviously in supportive of that. But interesting point was that approximately from 1/4 to 1/3 of even Muslim voters in India were of the positive side of this spectrum. And that's a very interesting finding for me, simply because we are used to see the data where almost like 95% plus when I used to see the data earlier, even among the Muslim respondents used to go on the negative side of the block. But that is no more in the same kind of intensity. And that tells us that not only that opposition of the Congress is wrong in reading the ground on this sentiment, but probably even reading the emotion of the minorities at large, thinking that they are just en bloc against this thing. It's not like that.
Okay, let Ashutosh Verma respond to this, because even Akhilesh Yadav chose not to go. This tracker poll from C Voter suggests that maybe opposition leaders made the wrong choice. 36% of opposition voters think this is a celebration of the entire nation. You seem to have been caught on the wrong side of the political mood on this.
I don't find any reason to comment on this thing, because it's a typical political program which has been created by Bharatiya Janata Party. Everybody knows that Ram Navami is going to be coming in next 2 months. And you want to do a Ram Pratishtha, so why not to wait for next 2 months? It's obvious. The general election going to be coming in next 2 months. And the model code of conduct will not allow Bharatiya Janata Party to do this political campaign. This is a political religion which has been made by Bharatiya Janata Party. And there's nothing hidden about it. They have choice.
No, that's your point of view, and you've been saying this for a while. But what we are telling you is the report card, the pulse of the people. And that data suggests that what you're saying is not in conformity with the large majority.
Let me complete, Rahul, let me complete. The Pran Pratishtha has been inaugurated on 23rd. We are discussing on 25th. What was the number which we have taken on this whole survey? Because in less than 48 hours,
let Yashwant answer that. He's questioning your sample size.
It's a question.
He's questioning.
Definitely.
Okay, he's questioning the methodology. So
Rahul, it's a country of 140 crores.
Let Yashwant explain that.
And we can't discuss in 48 hours that this is a wrong decision.
Okay.
How can you? Once we win the election, then Yashwant Deshmukh ji They said that, okay, it was a great move.
Let Yashwant explain it. Okay, Yashwant.
First of all, 1.4 billion people doesn't mean that you cannot scientifically sample with few thousand samples, that representativeness is ensured, number one. Number two, when we do thousands and thousands and lakhs of samples, all the agencies do on the exit poll. So this part that how can you do it in 48 hours? I can pretty much do 10,000 samples all across India and report to you in 60 minutes flat, sir. So let's not go into that. Please try to focus on the issue which is at hand. And in fact, while you go back to the Samajwadi Party representative, I must appreciate Samajwadi Party on one point, Rahul. I read the letter written in reply by Akhilesh ji to Champat Rai ji. The tone and tenor of the letter was actually appreciable. It was very different from the letter written by the Congress leaders. He simply wrote that I would like to come do the darshan along with the family once the Pran Pratishtha is over. Unlike the rest of the damning pieces that were added in their reply by the Congress leaders, accusing the entire thing to be the BJP propaganda and blah, 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 blah. It's very difficult for the public to see it that way. Of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the important factor out there. But let's also concede to the fact that barring the three constitutional post holders, that is the Chief Minister and the Governor and the Prime Minister, no other BJP leader was there on the Pran Pratishtha, present in the Pran Pratishtha. So obviously when public is watching that, this was an event which the data shows that public was very much enthusiastic about.